Recording to hard drive, stand by.
He's recording to hard drive.
Stream is up, you're live.
Hey, we're live right here on Facebook, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we've got a great show, starting off with Dean and Janet Palumbi, the dynamic duo real estate agents extraordinaire right here in the Smoky Mountains. Hey, stay tuned because the show's going to be amazing. Hey, Bob, roll that intro.
Come on.
Well, I tell you, I'm so glad that y'all are tuning in today to hear about Dean and Janet Palumbi, the real estate tycoons right here in the Smoky Mountains. I'm so excited to introduce you, my friends, and yours, soon to be your friends, Dean and Janet Palumbi. Hey guys, how you doing today?
Good, how are you, Jim?
Awesome.
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. You look amazing today. I love the colors, the whole team thing going on. You look
Red, white, and
wonderful.
blue.
Thank you.
Are you guys excited to be here?
We are excited.
Very excited.
You know, you're excited because you love to help people find their homes, right? Is
That's
that what
right.
you're talking about?
That's right.
Well, there's a lot of things that people always ask about real estate agents. They think certain things, and I know you're going to get a lot of those things straight. One thing's for sure, I like to think that you guys, being a team, have a lot to bring to the table.
Yes, we do.
So what is one of the biggest advantages for you guys being a team when someone is looking to sell a home? Why do you all become like the perfect people for people to call?
Real estate's complicated today, and it takes two people a lot of times. Most of the time, I'm handling the phone in the car while Dean's driving, and we get things done quickly. In fact, we just this week were able to win a house that hadn't even hit the market yet for a friend of ours that called out of the blue and said, I need to get in. And because there were two of us, I was handling all kinds of other things, and we got in there super fast.
It's great.
And they were able to get the home.
Yep.
Yeah, the house, it was a for sale sign, hit the ground with another agent. We know the agent, we have the relationship, so we called the agent and said, can we get in? Well, it's not on the MLS yet, but we know you, why not? Yep. So we got in immediately and snatched the house before it ever hit the MLS.
Yep.
Today's market's crazy.
It is crazy.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that put homes on the market, and it's like on the market for 20 hours,
Yeah.
12 hours.
Yeah.
So being a team like yourself, getting in, getting out for people, especially when people have told you what they're looking for in a home, you can go, I know who this house is for.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when you see these homes come on the market, what is the first thing that you guys do?
Well, we get our people in to see them as quickly as possible. If we have our own listing that comes on before it actually hits the market, we're looking for a person for it. The minute we have an interview for a listing, we're going to start talking about where we can take that listing, right, Jen? And we strategize. And then once we got that information, we go out through our funnel and we find the right place for it.
Well, you guys have been moving and shaking in this area here for the last
10
couple-
years.
10 years.
Yeah,
10
we went
years.
back full time a couple years ago, but 10 years here and 10 years in Florida.
You guys were big dogs in Florida.
Yeah,
Had a good run.
we did have
Yep,
a good run.
yep.
Real good
And then
run.
you came to the mountains,
We did.
the Smoky Mountains.
Yes.
Man, you got to love this area.
Oh, we do.
Yes, we started in Seymour when we first moved here and spent a lot of time in the Smoky Mountains.
Dollywood, like what, 3 season passes in a row the first
riding our
couple of years.
motorcycle.
All through the mountains.
Yes.
Love
yes.
Gatlinburg. Love to tube
Yes.
and do all the fun things that this area offers.
Yes.
Tubes. Everybody loves the tubes.
Love tubing.
Now, what are some of, let's say, let me ask this question in the proper way. When someone's looking for a home, what should they be looking for in a real estate agent?
Experience. You have to have experience today and know how to win contracts. It has gotten so difficult to win contracts. You have to write the contract properly. It's not just about price anymore. It's
Conditions. So a lot of people want the same home. There's a tight market right now, very low inventory, but what happens is the home can only appraise for so much money. So you have to write a smart offer. You have to write the offer in such a way that it will compete and beat others that come in on the same day at the same time. we have the language and the clauses we've used for many years to win homes for our customers, not just get an offer in, but make sure it competes and wins.
We'll
so that they
often
can
call
have
the
that.
listing agent and quiz them and see how we can write the best offer to win.
Right.
You know, sometimes they don't want to close in 20 days. Sometimes they want to close in 45 days. And if you write the offer properly, you have a better chance at winning.
Yeah. Some people even want to sell their home to the buyer and rent back from them for a few months while their new build gets completed. If we can write a contract that satisfies the seller and the buyer, everybody wins.
Love win-win.
That's the way it
Like
works.
most people love win-win, right? Going to my question sheets, I love what you say about, you know, creep the real estate agent on Facebook. Folks, if you are looking at a real estate agent, creep them on Facebook. Talk about that. Creep them on Facebook.
Janet, that's all you. Janet,
that.
we've had a customer say Janet is the creepiest, but that's because she knows how to use Facebook. Go ahead and tell
Well,
her.
I use Facebook as a business tool for the most part. You learn a lot about people on Facebook. And I hope people do creep us on Facebook. We have a business page and we have a personal page. And I think real estate is a lot about relationships and your sphere of influence and things that you have in common with people. And people want to do business with people that they are comfortable with and have things in common with. And I think you learn that on LinkedIn and Facebook and some of the social media sites. The last several transactions that we've done just this week all came from social media leads. A first-time home buyer and a friend of my son's had seen us posting on LinkedIn all the time and loves my son Kevin and felt comfortable saying, these two are on LinkedIn all over the place and they're my friend's parents, I want to use them. And we're selling them a house this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, you guys, didn't you have somebody hear about you from Texas and got in touch with you? You were on a radio show and somebody was listening to the radio show and they heard you guys talking. They called you from Texas?
Right.
What's that whole story? Because that's unbelievable.
A lady here in Knoxville heard us on a radio show, our Networking Today radio show, and her ex-husband is a broker in Texas, and she heard us and liked us and felt like she'd be comfortable buying a home from us, so she called her ex-husband in Texas, who called Rich DeForest, and Rich DeForest called us, and through a series of that, we got hooked up with this sweet lady and sold her her first time home.
Yes,
Wow.
and it was a true ordained moment because she had the list of about 35 homes that she had found on her own research, because everybody can get a hold of housing information. It's not hard to look at Zillow and other Realtor.com sites. So she had all these homes that she thought she'd want to see, yet she had financing constraints that meant she should need certain programs in certain areas would do so much better for her. So when we learned about her best way to get the money to buy the home, Janet went to work and narrowed that list down to about, I'd say about 5 homes. We showed her 5 homes and one was a clear winner. The first home we saw was the home we went back to, and we ended up in a McDonald's that evening writing a contract on a home.
Yeah, it's really important, you know, as a realtor, you wear a ton of different hats. You have to know mortgage. You have to know legal issues. You're not a lawyer, but you have to know these things. You have to be able to look at a first-time home buyer and understand that they need to get into a THDA loan. THDA only is in certain areas, and you have to know where those areas are. You have to have good relationships with your lenders and with your title companies, and you can't help people unless you know all these other things about it. It's just not just running people through houses and showing them homes. That's not what you do as a realtor. You have to know a lot of other things.
So much more. It is about your contact sphere. I know that you guys have great relationships, mainly because of Networking Today and networking all over Knoxville.
All over the chambers and so forth, yeah.
But when you're tied in with 500 people that are professionals in the business world, knowing who to call when problems arise, that's a huge thing. You know, if we know the right people to get people in touch with, that's extremely valuable, especially if we trust them. That's a huge thing.
Yes, no doubt about it.
So when we talk about, say somebody's thinking about listing a home, and especially up here in the Smoky Mountains, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, a lot of people think that for sale by owner is a good thing. Okay? Now there's a lot of things that people don't understand about selling a home when they think they can just stick it up and put a for sale sign in their front yard. What are some of the major disadvantages of people doing a for sale by owner? Because these are big.
You take that one.
Okay, well, you know, first of all, when you deal with a real estate professional, whether you're representing the buyer or the seller, the buyer is informed. The seller is informed. They know what's required to close a transaction, what needs to be done to make this transaction go all the way to closing. So when I go and I see a house for sale by owner, I know the owner doesn't have that representation. They don't have the experience. When I say that, Janet and I have closed over 450 real estate transactions. And most people that are for sale by owner, maybe they sold one home by themselves in the past, maybe two. They've not done it 450 times, so they've not run into all the obstacles that they might find. More than half of the transactions that I meet people who are in a contract that are for sale by owner never make it to closing. And of those, we win about 70% of those when I stay in touch with them. So we try to be a resource. If they need some help, sure, we'll give them a little free advice. But more importantly, we're there when you decide that you just can't do this. And truly, it can be anything from the buyer not being committed, maybe not knowing where to do the escrow deposit at, or even getting an escrow deposit. Contract's got all kinds of loopholes in it, and the seller takes a walk, and the buyer's not happy about it because they wanted to buy this house and they stopped looking, or the buyer takes a walk because there's nobody there to sue him or make him perform to the contract that he's got with a for sale by owner. So we bring meat to the transaction.
Yeah, we have a lot of buyers that don't even want to look at a for sale by owner because they know they're not going to get realtor representation. So they just don't want to see them. They don't want to do that business directly with the seller because they know no one's going to look out for their well-being.
Right, right. And also the fact I've heard that somebody might put a price on their home and they actually lowball their house.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Red and white sign to a buyer means buy me cheaper. Buy me cheaper. Hey, they're not paying a commission, so you really ought to come in and just make a low offer because the seller doesn't have to pay anything anyway. So, and sellers going, hey, I don't want to give up any of my commission, so it becomes a battle instead of something better.
Well, if you can sell a home for $200,000 for sale by owner, but if you have the right real estate agent, they sell it for $250 or $225.
Absolutely.
If you pay 3%, 4%, you're only talking about a little bit of money instead of a $50,000 increase on a home, which is huge.
We do all the work.
Yeah, right. It takes all the pressure off the actual seller.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, in this business, I think references mean a ton. Okay, so I'm going to give my reference for Dean and Janet Palumbi. I just came back from Hawaii, and my son calls me and says, "Dad, I found a home. Would you come look at it with us? We got a setup to meet him in an hour." First thing I'm thinking is, oh my gosh, do they have a real estate agent? Because they didn't tell me you were looking for a home. Well, as soon as I went and looked at the house, I asked them if they had a real estate agent. Of course, they said no, and I said, this market is crazy. Homes last less than a day in most cases. So I called Dean and Janet right away. And within the hour, Dean and Janet called Nick back. They started working on it right away, have a relationship with the mortgage broker because they were not pre-approved, and got done with that, got them pre-approved by Monday, had an offer in that day when there was 5 other offers on the home, by the way. And when they were talking about knowing how to build a contract or something to give to a seller to have them accept your bid, they're talking about truth. Within a day, my son had an offer on that house. It went to them, they accepted it, and they bought a house. I mean, Sunday, we're not pre-approved, had no real estate agent, had no offers on the table for a house that just came on the market. There was 5 other offers on the table. They called you, you guys made it work. My son's in a new home today because of you guys.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Not sweet, it's the truth. Now that's reality. So as far as references go, big time applause for you guys.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you.
Now, how do people get in touch with you? Because that's a real important thing. We've got about a minute left, so I need the last minute to be about you.
Okay, the best way to reach us is to call us directly at 865-317-3765. That's 865-317-3765. We answer our phone all the time. If you leave a message, it just means we're going to call you back lightning fast. You can email us at makeitapalumbi. Now, nobody can spell our name, so we made it sound corny, but rememberable by saying P-A-L-O-M-B-U-Y, like buy a house. So when you buy or sell, you make it a palumbi. And you can reach us online at www.makeitapalumbi.com.
Well, that's right. And you check them out on Facebook too, right?
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, Facebook,
all that
LinkedIn.
stuff.
Absolutely, make it a Palumbi.
Yes, absolutely. Website. Yep.
Hey, guys, listen, when we come to the ends of a show, I just want to tell you, know your neighbors, because you never know who you might be sitting next to. And a few years ago, I was in a place sitting next to these guys. Didn't know who they were, but we both said, hey, how you doing?
Right.
What is it, 5, 6 years?
At least.
At least that,
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
So here we are today in a TV studio on a show talking about how great they are and what they do to help people find their dream home. Thanks, guys, for checking us out, and make sure you stay tuned for future shows, and be sure to like and share this post to help get the word out. Guys, be a great neighbor. Say hi, smile, open a door. Make a difference in someone's life today. Out.